Hey guys, Chris here. So, I got tagged by Mr. Tom Ritter, and what this tag was about was to show the 3 luxury items that you tend to always or would like to always take with you into the bush. Doesn't mean you always take them, you know. There's a lot of items I don't take at times because I want to force myself to procure stuff from nature, and once you get past that bridge, it opens up a whole new door to you. It's amazing. I suggest, you know, on your guys' next trip, go out with little to nothing. You'll find it'll be a much better, more rewarding, and a all-around more fun trip than if you take a whole backpack full of, you know, 30, 40, 50 pounds of gear. You know, some people I've seen take like 80 to 100 pounds. You don't need it. But anyway, back to Tom Ritter's tag. So, my 3 luxury items. Now, the first, and some of you might know me, I'm a flint knapper, so I don't really have issues making some type of cutting utensil or source or blade or whatever it may be. But I would much rather have one on me than have to search for the materials to do that. And you may or may not find what you need. So you may go without a blade or cutting source. So if you haven't figured it out yet, it's a knife. I like the hand-forged knives. There is a good reason for that, which will bring me into my second luxury item. And my second luxury item is some simple way of starting fire. You know, even I'm not big on matches, not since I've been a little kid, but I like the practice of doing some of the harder stuff. But you know, I'd have to say taking a fire kit or a quicker way of starting a fire, especially if you've got charred materials, is very handy, and it takes a lot of time out of, you know, depending on the materials you find. You know, if you can find and source everything you need to make a bow drill, it's not too time extensive. Now, unless you fail quite a bit. And the same with the hand drill, you know, if you find the materials for the hand drill and you get it off going on the first bat, it was successful. But you know, depending on if there's moisture and anything and such, you know, it may take you all day to get that fire going. So having something as simple as charred materials and, you know, a flint and steel or something, even magnifying glass, is a luxury for me. Which brings me back to my hand-forged knives. These will spark off flints and cherts and quartzes and things much better than a normal knife, you know, a non-hand forged knife. This is essentially like using a flint and steel. So if you take a hand forged knife, you could lose the flint and steel. I still would probably take it just because I don't like using my knives for that all the time, but find you a knife you don't have too much passion to and practice it, because it is a good skill to know. And it is a little bit different to get a fire started using the spine of your knife than a flint and steel. I mean, essentially it's the same thing, but everything has a learning curve. Doesn't matter how many times you've done something, how old you are, there's always another way to do it, or a better way to do it, or a faster way to do it. You're never too old to learn. And this brings me into my third luxury item. So the area I live in, you know, there's a lot of things people I see that take, you know, things like tents and sleeping bags and such. Those are good, you know, that's a luxury item. It's nice to have, so you're not, you know, trying to make your own bed all the time. Out here where I live, we get a lot of grass. Grass is very comfortable and it's an excellent insulator, and would rather make a grass bed and pull grass on me than drag a sleeping bag or something in every time. That's just my personal preference. I'm not opposed to using a sleeping bag. I do use them. It just depends on my trip or my situation or what I'm trying to do. But my third and final luxury item would be some type of pot, metal canteen, metal cup, something to boil my water in and cook my food. Out here where I live, there's not a easily accessible source of clay or really any materials other than wood. If you're in the right location, wood is rare out here as well. So this is much easier for me. Now, there is something I tend to do out here, which is called an Indian seep or an Indian well. Those are excellent sources of drinking water. However, can't really cook in an Indian well. You can if you've got rocks, but we're a lot of sand out here, so if you can find the rocks, you don't need this. You can cook. And actually that brings me to a point. Mickey Wilson did a video and he cooked in a Indian seep, I think. But it can be done, and you can also take, say something, a hide, rawhide, and dig a little pit, drip the rawhide down in there, and use the rocks to boil your water, or cook your food or your stew down there. But this is much easier and a luxury for me to take a pot or a canteen or something ready-made to cook my food, boil my water, or what have you. So there you go, guys. My 3 luxury items that I like and tend to usually take with me in the bush. Some type of cutting source, knife, even I would rather take, if I didn't take this, I would rather take a flint blade or a flake even, than not have something and have to go find the materials if I can find them. So that's why this is a luxury for me. A quick, simple way of getting an ember going, starting a fire, even matches. I don't use matches much, but they're handy. And a luxury. And a pot, pan, canteen, metal cup, something I can cook, boil, hydrate. So alright guys, those are my 3 luxury items, and if you feel up to it, let's see about yours, or hear about yours.